and supported Ministry of Health and have dreamt about running an online consultation service 24/7 for the welfare and well-being of its citizens. And here we are today. We have successfully run our hospital, Birland Royal Hospital, under Ministry of Health, and which is always available for your service 24/7. Ministry of Health is uttermost grateful to Her Royal Majesty Queen Edward for her constant encouragement, support and guidance, no matter what. Now here I would also like to add one line. The honorable name of our Madam Prime Minister is the true definition and example of leadership in this world. Your Majesties, our Honorable President and our Honorable Madam Prime Minister, we truly thank you for keeping faith in Ministry of Health, and we assure you we will not ever let you down. Thank you. Now, here I would like to make some announcement, very important announcement from our Ministry of Health. I would like to first notify our citizens and supporters of Birland that, as I have mentioned, we are successfully running our Royal Hospital 24/7 very efficiently with the true devotion and support of our brilliant and expert doctors. We are truly grateful for your service. Secondly, today is World Malaria Day, and we should not fear any diseases, any killer diseases. Rather, from Ministry of Health, we, with the true and immense support of our Royal Majesty Queen Eden, and with our guidance and support and blessings of our President King Emir, we are going to understand, learn, fight and prevent malaria. Our Ministry of Health will also issue one newsletter this week for its well-being of the citizens of Birland. There is a third major announcement which I would like to announce in this evening.
Yeah! Yeah! I can feel it! Yeah! Yeah! Yes! Yeah! Yeah!
Just a second, please. Thirdly, let us continue. The third major announcement is we are going to organize Birland Medical Mission on this Thursday in this week in West Bengal's #1 school, that is Jadavpur Vidyapit, where we are going to treat over 1500 students and their families, especially younger students. So this was only possible with our kind initiative taken by our Royal Advisor Dr. Utsav Bhattacharya, and this whole management is being conducted by PR Medication Private Limited. Today, this evening, we have a very special guest of honor, Director Tanmay Acharji and Finance Director Samanjana Madam here with us. I would like to mention that Ministry of Health is very thankful to them for their constant and immense support to our emerging nation of Africa, where they are contributing immensely to all our programs we are planning to conduct. And sir, ma'am, we are truly grateful and we heartiest welcome you in our second virtual medical symposium. Now, let us all learn today about our eminent speaker, Honorable Dr. Utsav Bhattacharya, Royal Advisor to Ministry of Health, National Editor, Chairman of West Bengal Dental Surgeon Forum, the largest political organization of West Bengal. He is truly an inspiration to millions of medical students out there, and true hero to the state of Birland. Being Minister of Health, I would commend you, Dr. Usha Bhattacharya, for your true devotion and hard work for our country, Birland. You have made us all proud by your constant service to Birland Royal Hospital and this initiative. Now let us all relax and understand our second virtual medical symposium themed Fight and Prevent Malaria from our Honorable Eminent Speaker, Dr. Utsha Bhattacharya. Over to you, sir.
Thank you for your kind words, Dr. Mayuk. I hope I am audible to all of you and the screen is presented.
Yes.
Okay, so good evening to all citizens, and with the permission of His Royal Majesty King Emir and Her Royal Majesty Ma'am Prime Minister, can I start this presentation?
Yes, thank you. Go ahead. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. You are very, very welcome. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So you see, malaria is a problem, and today on in this World Malaria Day, I thought that this is a very nice occasion when we can discuss about malaria, because it is a real problem. But as you see, as our program was going on, some hackers, they were creating some problem. But what could they do? Nothing. Our program is still going on. Even if they come again, still our program will be on. So problems will keep coming up, and we have to fight against it. We have to remain steady. We have to find way outs, and I always believe personally that there are always way outs. So malaria is also a problem, but there are way outs, and this program is intended for all the people who wants to help others, or who wants to treat malaria and help other people who are suffering, or even if people can understand the disease, they can also prevent malaria from happening. And that is the main purpose of today's symposium. So if we talk about this malaria thing, so malaria is something that comes up from a word that is a bad air or a mal air. So malaria is basically coming up from organism, a very very tiny microscopic organism, and in our medical language we call it as plasmodium. Okay, so that is not very important. What is important is that this organism, it lives inside a mosquito. It lives inside the female Anopheles mosquito. Now, why specifically this mosquito? Why specifically the female Anopheles mosquito? Normally human skin is pretty tough. It is a pretty strong skin. So every mosquito doesn't have a sharp that projection. In scientific language we call it as proboscis. So proboscis is that projection with which they pierce through our skin. So for humans this is very 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 strong, very very tight, very very tough skin we have, and it is not easy to penetrate the skin. But female Anopheles mosquito has a very very sharp proboscis, sharp that needle, and that actually pierces through our skin. Now what happens is, if it pierces through our skin, then why do they pierce? Because they need blood. Now female Anopheles mosquito is also struggling for her survival, because she needs to lay eggs, and by virtue of evolution, this female Anopheles mosquito has learned that if it sucks up this human blood, that is very very good for her eggs. So that is a very good nutrition for her eggs. And For that purpose, the female Anopheles mosquito is sucking the blood out, and when they are sucking the blood out, during that time they're injecting certain germs inside the blood, inside the human blood. And when I say germs, I mean that plasmodium. So the plasmodium which actually causes this malaria, that was residing, that was hiding inside that proboscis, that needle of the mosquito, and when that mosquito pierces that needle, pierces that proboscis inside the human body, and it mixes with the blood, then that plasmodium gradually enters into the human body. Now the thing is that if we talk about this malaria, why is this malaria so dangerous? And let me tell you something, malaria is not dangerous only today. Like on the screen I have mentioned certain things, that the ancient Greek historian Herodotus wrote that the builders of Egyptian pyramids were given large amounts of garlic, probably to protect them against malaria. So we have got lots of things, lots of evidences where we see that bed nets were used for protection against the mosquitoes. Even it mentions the Cleopatra 7. Okay, so she used to sleep under the mosquito net. So this mosquito has been creating a lot of trouble. And of course, it is not that mosquito causes only malaria. There are other diseases also, like dengue, then chikungunya. There are a lot of other diseases which are caused by malaria. But there was a very, very high prevalence of this P. falciparum. So here P goes with plasmodium, that organism that I was talking about. So this plasmodium, its prevalence, its existence was very, very high in ancient Egypt. And as we understand that our state of Birland, it is present very close to this Egypt. It is present, its location is between Egypt and Sudan. So we have to be thorough, we have to know a little bit about this malaria. And for children it is even more dangerous. WHO claims that every 2 minutes malaria kills a child under the age of 5. So children, we have to protect them really. Children are in grave danger if there is malaria in the vicinity area. So here I have mentioned some good hope, some good news. So you see these countries which are written on the left hand side: Algeria, Argentina, Armenia, Azerbaijan, okay, China, Egypt, El Salvador. So all these countries, what is the good part about it? They have eradicated malaria. So 24 countries, they have reported 0 indigenous cases of malaria for 3 and more years. And this is the report, this is the latest report which I could read. So that's between year 2000 and 2020. So it's a big achievement. So my point is, if they can, even we can. So that's the thing that I told in the beginning, that problems will come up. Even these countries, Tajikistan, Turkey, Sri Lanka, United Arab Emirates, they all face the challenge. They all fought against it, and they have shown that we can win over this malaria. But right now, if we talk about Africa, so African chapter of WHO doesn't give us a good news. So on the right hand side, I have shown the current challenge. So as you can see where the Red Sea is, and if you see that near the river Nile, okay, in these areas, and if we go down, you know, the like the lower portion where the blue Nile is present, the white Nile is present, there the incidences of malaria is very, very high. So like in Africa, I think this is a very, very prime concern that we should talk about. But we are not worried about fever, a regular viral fever. We are not worried about sore throat, cough and cold. So why are we talking about malaria and how malaria kills? Isn't it just fever that happens in malaria? Well, no. So here is the thing. Let's get it very, very straight. Malaria, it actually goes inside our blood and it resides inside the liver. Now, when it resides inside the liver, it actually damages the liver cells. And I hope everybody knows, but since it is a medical symposium, so this is a message from the Ministry of Health to everybody to remember one thing, that whatever bad stuff you take inside your body, be it a medicine, be it drug, be it alcohol, whatever bad things that goes inside your body, it is taken care by the liver. Okay, it is the liver which forgives all those mistakes that we do while eating. So if your liver goes damaged, then it is going to be a big problem. And trust me, liver is such an organ that if partial liver is damaged, if we cut even 80% of the liver, then rest 20% of the liver has got the capability to regrow on itself. You don't need any help, you don't need any medicine, it will just regenerate. And it is the only organ in our body that can regenerate. But the problem is that if your entire liver goes damaged, then which part will you cut and which part will you save? So you can't help. Your entire liver is gone. And kidneys also get damaged, and kidney has got a big problem. What is the problem for kidney? Liver, if it like I said, if you cut off half the liver, then the rest half can regenerate. Now kidney is just the opposite. Each and every damage in kidney is irreparable damage. It is irreversible damage. You cannot revert the situation. Like there are some filters which filter our blood, we call them as nephron. So those people who have studied basic science would agree with me that each of our kidney has got around 1.2 million nephrons. So we have got approximately somewhere around 2.5 million nephrons. But if you damage each and every nephron and then you expect that I'm going to take some medicine and it is going to get healed, then that is not happening. So kidney is another headache, that you have to take care of kidney a lot. And kidneys, that's definitely beyond the scope of today's symposium, but kidneys are located on the back side of our body, okay, in the abdomen area. And the bad part of the story is kidney is not well protected. Like our heart is protected by the rib cage and there are bones which are protecting it. Our kidney is not at all well protected. So just a take home message for everybody who do not have idea about kidney is take care of your kidneys and make sure that you don't get traumatized, you don't get a trauma, you don't get hurt on the kidney area, on the back side of your abdomen area. You don't need to injure that part. Okay, so there lies the kidney. But anyways, so that's beyond the scope of today's symposium. Coming back to the topic, so now the thing is this, you understand that if kidney or liver gets damaged, then that is going to be a life-threatening situation. And definitely spleen can also rupture. Spleen is another important thing. Now why spleen is important? Because spleen is the area which not only stores our blood whenever we need extra blood. Suppose today, right now, I'm sitting over here idle, my body doesn't need much blood. But suppose I need to go out, I need to catch a bus, I need to run after a train, or I need to go for some jogging, and my body needs some more blood. So from where will that excess blood come up? So spleen stores that blood over there. And another part of spleen is that spleen is known as the graveyard of our red blood cells. So the red blood cells that we have in our body, so they get broken, they get destroyed in this spleen only. Now, so you understand that spleen, if it gets ruptured, then there is going to be a lot of internal bleeding taking place. Inside your body, there is going to be a lot of bleeding going on. Blood will spread throughout your body, and that is again going to be a life-threatening situation. And malaria can cause the splenic rupture. Now, another thing, let's say the situation is not life-threatening, but in case, even if the malaria is mild, I'll explain the reason, but for the time being, trust me that there is going to be anemia. And if there is anemia means I guess some people might be knowing, anemia is that you have got less blood, low blood cells. So blood cells, if they go less, our blood has got a responsibility to carry oxygen from our lungs to each and every part of our body. So if you do not have blood cell, then who will carry the oxygen to your body? So who will carry nutritions to your body? So your body will be devoid of nutrition, your body will be devoid of oxygen, your tissues will not get oxygen at all. So that is going to be a very, very big problem in case of malaria. Now, how do we understand that we are suffering from malaria? When do we need to visit a doctor? When do we need to consult our 24/7 Royal Hospital of Birland? So here are a few symptoms. If you think that there is headache, fever, vomiting, you have got nausea, you have got a feeling like vomiting, okay, or if you have got dry cough, so these might be symptoms of malaria. But remember, for any of these situations, do not need to be panic stricken. Do not panic about it. You will see that in case of malaria, there are some paroxysm. Now, paroxysm is a medical term. I'll try to explain it in easy language. So paroxysms are basically episodic. Okay, there will be episodes of fever and all developing. It's not like there will be continuous fever, but there will be episodes of fever. So initially what happens is there is going to be a 15 to 60 minute of a cold stage happening, when you will feel shivering, you will feel cold, okay, these things will happen. And after that there will be a 2 to 6 hour of hot stage, and during this time the temperature will rise, your body temperature will rise, okay, you will develop dry skin, okay, it will be so hot, your lips can crack, okay, you can suffer from headache, you can have vomiting feeling, nausea, you can actually vomit, okay. So these kinds of symptoms, if you understand, then definitely, and you know that you are living in a area where malaria is a very, very important thing, where malaria is prevailing, you should definitely visit a doctor, or you should definitely consult us in our Royal Hospital of Birland. Now, let's talk about the children again. But before we talk about the children, let's talk about the pregnant ladies, the pregnant women. So this is a motto of World Health Organization, #End Malaria, because malaria is actually striking the pregnant women and also the children in Africa, and leading to maternal anemia, like I said. So the mothers, the would-be mothers, they are no exception. So there will be maternal anemia, stillbirth, spontaneous abortions. Those people who don't know, it is basically such a kind of abortion where the mother herself has no idea that she was even pregnant. Like when the mother gets pregnant, when the mother understands that she's pregnant, quite a few amount of time has already passed by. So if a mother conceives today, the mother doesn't get to understand today only. So after a couple of days, she will understand. Now, in case of spontaneous abortion, mother doesn't even understand that, because in case of malaria, what happens is that that conceptus, the tiny cell which is going to develop into a very beautiful baby, that cell just flushes away. So that is a spontaneous abortion. So it happens spontaneously. It's abortion where you don't need a doctor, you don't need medicine, it just happens automatically, and it happens silently. It happens in such a way that the mother has no idea about it. And in case also, if the mother is giving birth, then the baby will have low birth weight, and low birth weight is not at all good. So this pregnancy time is a time when the mothers should be very well protected from malaria. So I'm going to give you an idea in very easy language that how the disease spreads. So in this picture, you can see how a mosquito is laying eggs. So keep this image in your mind, because at the end of today's symposium, this is going to be the take-home message, that this is what we can do. We can prevent the malaria by not allowing these mosquitoes to lay eggs. So if there is because see, here I'm not going against the life. I'm not talking about killing any random animal. You see, there are certain insects like cockroach, like mosquito. They don't do any good to our ecosystem. Okay, in case you are thinking that what sort of a person I am, I'm talking about killing some organism, but no. In the world of biology, these organisms, they are called as gregarious pest. So gregarious pest means that they actually damage the human crops, they damage the human life, they cause disease to the humans, so we really don't like them. Okay, and definitely in those areas where we are suffering. Okay, if humans live and mosquito lives and nobody does harm to nobody, that's a win-win situation, that's good to go. But if we see that mosquitoes are harming the humans, so as a doctor, it's my duty to maintain, it's my duty to save the human life, and for that I do not want this mosquito to spread. So these eggs are something that we do not want. So we do not want the mosquitoes to lay eggs. But anyways, first I'm going to tell you how this disease spreads so that you can have a tiny idea, a easy idea about it. So first, as the mosquito bites, you will like I said earlier, so that plasmodium, the organism, it enters into the bloodstream, and it keeps circulating, and sooner or later, eventually it is going to enter into our liver, and it hides inside our liver, it matures inside our liver, it takes nourishment from our liver cells, and they themselves start getting matured, they start growing up. When they grow up, now here there are a lot of technical terms written like merozoite and all. I don't want to bother all of you with these terms, so I'm just trying to keep it very simple. So as this plasmodium, it swells up, it grows bigger, so it cannot stay inside the liver cells anymore, so they rupture out of the liver cell and they come out. And you know what, they're so clever. Sometimes some of these plasmodium, they hide inside the liver, they don't come out, they remain in a very dormant state, they just go to sleep. So what happens is, if a patient develops malaria, this is a challenge I'm describing. A patient develops malaria and they come to us, we treat the patient, and the patient becomes very happy, patient goes home, patient takes all precautions, all preventive measures, but again after a couple of months patient develops malaria again, and patient is not at all understanding that why he or she developed malaria again, because he or she has been taking all the precautions, and he was already cured earlier. The reason is this naughty plasmodium who live and they hide inside the liver cell. Now when they wake up, they were sleeping all the time, now when they wake up, now they will again rupture out of the liver cell, and then they will again do the nuisance in the body and again develop malaria. So they are even more dangerous. Anyways, so as they rupture the liver cells, they come out into the bloodstream, and this time their next target is the red cells of your blood, the red blood cells. Now they go inside the red blood cells, again they keep maturing, and finally a time will come up when they will even rupture out of this red blood cells. They rupture out of the red blood cell, they again target another red blood cell, then they will stay inside that red blood cell, rupture that, again target another red blood cell. So you see, it is a series of action going on, and day by day, one by one, red blood cells are getting destroyed. Now when red blood cells get destroyed, there are some tiny poisonous molecules which come out into the bloodstream, and when these tiny poisonous molecules come out into the bloodstream, we develop fever, our body doesn't tolerate that, and our body temperature starts to rise. And this is the reason every time there is a red blood cell bursting out, every time there is fever. So in case of malaria, each and every time people surrounding you, your near ones, your dear ones, every time they are suffering from fever, know this, that some of their, like tens, hundreds, thousands of the red cells just now got destroyed. Then again they will become alright. Again after a couple of hours, say 48 hours or 72 hours, when again fever will come up, understand that again tens or hundreds or thousand red blood cells have got ruptured. and that is a big problem in case of malaria. Fever we all have, viral fevers we all have. If you take medication, it will get cured in 7 days. You don't take medication, you will get cured in 1 week. But malaria, in case of malaria, you are having fever, but it is not just fever. With each and every fever, your red blood cells are getting destroyed, and that is the seriousness of malaria. Now what happens is that when the plasmodium, this organism, when it becomes happy, when it becomes contented, that okay, I have enjoyed my time inside the humans, now gradually they start producing the egg forms. So the eggs, they keep circulating in the bloodstream. Now what will happen is, now another mosquito will come up. Now this mosquito might be a uninfected mosquito, this mosquito might be a healthy mosquito, but this mosquito is again sucking blood from you. So this mosquito is again a female Anopheles mosquito, and as she is sucking the blood out, now these eggs, they go inside the mosquito's body, and inside the mosquito's body, from this egg, a new plasmodium develops. And when I say a new plasmodium, I'm wrong actually. There are hundreds of plasmodium they are developing, and they are getting stored inside the mosquito. Primarily, like we have salivary gland, even mosquitoes also have salivary gland. So primarily, the highest concentration is in their salivary gland. So you understand that it is in their salivary gland. So next time, when again they are going to pierce through the human skin, some other human skin, so from the salivary gland, that plasmodium will again get inside the human blood and again start creating the entire nuisance cycle. So this is a real problem with malaria. So I was just trying to explain in simple language that how this spreads, so that you understand when somebody around you, they are having fever, so you know that this is not a nice thing happening. The person is having fever means a couple of minutes back some red cells just got destroyed. So this person has a few number of red cells less than what I have. So my body parts, whatever amount of oxygen they are getting, this person is not getting so much oxygen. So we should not leave them just like that, unattended. We must take care of them. In the picture, you can see that it is a actual electron microscope photograph of a red blood cell, and you see that how that red blood cell is gradually, the lower portion is the red blood cell, and how that this merozoite which is written, don't bother about it, actually this is the organism, this is the plasmodium form. So how this plasmodium is gradually entering through that apex inside the red blood cell that I have shown over here. So okay, so this is the point of this discussion. Anyways, so what can we do? So what is malaria, we have understood, and it is also creating a problem, that also we understood. But what to do? So how can we control malaria? So number one thing is that a mosquito net, very very important. So mosquito net is something which is easily available. If it is not available in some parts of the world, it can be provided. It's not very costly. So mosquito net is something which can prevent malaria. And as it is written over here, that if it is treated with insecticide, then the more the merrier. So if you insecticide treat the mosquito net, then even the mosquitoes will die. Not only that they won't be able to reach you, but as they sit over there, they will actually die. Next thing is that wear long sleeved clothes. And when we say long sleeved clothes, once again I would just like to add on one point, though it is beyond the scope of today's discussion. But remember, in general, in African countries, actually, you know, this is something that even we are suffering. Like in West Bengal, in India, we are also struggling with malaria. So not only that Africa is observing malaria from this close, even we, the doctors of West Bengal, even we observe malaria this close. And dengue also. You know what is so similar with the African countries and our countries, that the geographical situation is a little bit similar. We all belong to the tropical area. Now if you go into a little bit colder area, you won't find mosquitoes. You won't find mosquito if you are surrounded by salt water. There are a lot of backwater areas. We see, I think, Venice is there, where there is so much water bodies present around. But if the water is flowing, over the mosquitoes can't sit. The water has to be stagnant for mosquitoes to sit. If water is flowing water, no problem. If the water is having high salt concentration, no problem. Mosquitoes don't love salty water, they love sweet water. So if water or general water is stagnant, so that is the problem. And mosquitoes, they love to live in a like that. The comfortable climate is the tropical climate. So that is where we have got a similarity between India and Africa, that both the places there is malaria. Africa has got terrific amount of malaria, agreed, but even in our we also face this situation quite a lot. Now here the thing is this, that in our country there is dengue also, and I think over there also in Africa also there is dengue. So here also I tell it to my patients. So I thought that I should tell it to our citizens over here also, that the dengue, the mosquito is different. Now that mosquito primarily comes out in the evening time, the night time. Oh, my bad, sorry. That comes out in the morning time. And this malaria wala mosquito, it comes out in the night time. So if you really want to protect yourself from this malaria, then you should wear covered clothes, long sleeved clothes. If you want to prevent from malaria, then you should wear all these things during the night time. But if you think that there is dengue going on around you, so you should do the same thing. You should follow the same protective measures, but during the morning hours, because the dengue mosquito is different, and that actually bites you in the morning hours. But anyways, coming back to the point again, so wearing long sleeved clothes are very, very important. And also there are some mosquito repellents that you can apply on your skin. There are lotions, ointments available, but I really don't recommend it publicly. The reason being that there are a lot of people who are allergic to these type of things. I have got patients who have applied it on their skin and then they develop rashes. So you need to suit yourself, but either you can apply a mosquito repellent cream, or you can wear a long sleeve cloth. If you wear a long sleeve cloth, you don't need ointment, you don't need a cream, it's enough. Now next comes up the this spray, the mosquito killing sprays. They are definitely effective, so we can do that. Even insecticides also we can spray. Mosquito itself is an insect, so either you can use a specific mosquito killer, or you can simply use an insecticide. And like I am always telling repeatedly, don't let the mosquito lay egg. Don't let the larva is that baby of the mosquito, please don't let the larva survive. Okay, because they are the problem really. So in this picture, as you can see, on the water body there are small tiny organisms. If you can see, they are basically mosquitoes. So this picture is a picture of a very, very filthy place, and you can see so many dirty packets and garbages they are kept over there. Okay, so always remember that if there are sewers, you cannot have a sewer which is blocked. There should be constant clearance of the blocked sewers. Okay, and these water bodies, if you see that around your house there are some broken earthen pot present, okay, that in that water gets stagnated. Recently in our this West Bengal, I think before COVID, there was a lot of research was going on, fumigation process was going on, and health department was on their toes to eradicate these bad mosquitoes. And whenever we were finding any incidences of malaria or dengue, the entire medical team was visiting that area, visiting the family, and there were a lot of epidemiologists over there who were actually searching for clues that how this family is suffering, or why this family is suffering, how the mosquito entered, are they taking precautions? If they are taking precautions, then still where are they lagging? What is the problem? So there was a lot of research going on, there was a big movement going on, and at that time I'll tell you something, a very interesting fact came out that some families are there, they used to take proper precaution for like against this mosquito, but they had a habit of planting trees. Now what happens is, when you plant trees, the water drops, they fall out of the leaves, and at that time evidences were found out that if 2-3 drops also collect over there, also the mosquitoes can lay eggs. Even that amount of water was dangerous in West Bengal at that time. So it was found out that from there diseases were occurring. So if you find any place like broken earthen pot or any other areas where you see that the water is remaining stagnant, dirty water remaining stagnant, just get rid of it, throw it away. We don't need that around us. But if you see that it's a little bit larger water body, say it's like just like this picture, the photograph, here what we can do, here we can spray kerosene, the kerosene oil. Now what happens is, kerosene oil doesn't mix with water, so kerosene is going to form a layer, it is lighter than water, so it is not going to go down, it will stay above water, so it forms a layer of oil above the water, and the entire water will get covered with oil. So the mosquitoes will not be able to understand that there is water beneath it, so they won't sit over there, they won't lay egg over there. Now if there is a useful water body, say a pond, a lake, a swimming pool, something like that, so if there is anything like this, so always remember that please do not spread oil on that, because many people can drink that water, use it for washing clothes, but what to do? So what we can do is that there are certain fishes, like gambusia is a fish. Okay, so this fish is a larvivorous fish, so they love to eat the larva of mosquito. So if you release that fish, then fish is not going to damage the water, fish will only clean up the larva. So if we can introduce such kind of fishes which eats up the larva, the larvivorous fishes in the water body, then definitely we can get rid of malaria. So always remember that these are some basic, very basic precautionary measures that we need to take to protect us from malaria. Now in this entire bad news, there's some good news also. So the bad news was, like we discussed, a child dies from malaria every 2 minutes, but right now recently WHO has actually introduced something called as MVP. So what is this MVP? So in this movement there is a vaccine that has been introduced. This is the first malarial vaccine that has been introduced just a couple of years back, I think 1 to 2 years or maybe 3 years back it has been introduced. So the name is RTSS. So if we talk about this RTSS, this vaccine, so as you can see that there's a pilot project going on, it's pilot running in 3 places. One is Ghana, one is Kenya, and one is Malawi. So in these 3 places the test run is going on. Actually for a last couple of years they have been doing a lot of trials, okay, but finally they are doing this, they have been successful over there, and finally they are doing this pilot run over here in these 3 countries, Kenya, Malawi, and Ghana. And it's great, it's working really great. So as you can see, I don't want you to, like, if you want to go through, you're most welcome, but I would like to all of you to focus at the bottom side where the impact word is written. So it's written over there that 1 life saved for every 200 children vaccinated, and that's a good news. So because as you see, WHO considers that even 1 death is too many. So we cannot allow even one death also. And if one life is saved for every 200 children vaccinated, that's a big deal. 40% reduction in the malaria episodes. So 40% reduction is a big deal. Okay, 30% reduction is considered very good, and 40% is like, it's a big deal. Okay, so impact optimized in highly seasonal malaria settings by providing doses prior to the peak rainy season. So in our medical language we call it a prophylaxis. So prophylactic doses provided to them, so that like before the rainy season, so that stagnation, even if there is stagnation of water taking place, then also the children will be protected. But mind it, this is only for the children, and I'll talk about that right now. So how is it available now? For this, any health worker can do this. Okay, we don't need really doctors specifically for this part, and that is why I am introducing this topic in our discussion here. So the name of the vaccine is basically RTS/AS01. Now what happens is, when you take any medication, suppose you have fever and you want to take paracetamol. I guess everybody knows about this medication. It's very common, paracetamol. So when you take paracetamol, one thing you should know, that the tablet that you're taking now, that is not just paracetamol. It also contains some extra stuff, say a preservative, or there are certain stuff so that you can make the tablet. Okay, so they are called as adjuvant. Okay, I'm not going into a detail of pharmacology. I just am trying to explain it in simple, easy language. So like here we have got two bottles. Now one bottle is where RTSS is present, and there is another bottle where the adjuvant is present, like that will make this medicine complete. Like only that RTSS is not complete unless and until you add that adjuvant over there. So as you see that the name is Mosquirix. So there's a company called as GlaxoSmithKline, GSK. So they have been doing this. They are producing this Mosquirix. Okay, and as you can see over here, I have given it that in November 2016, WHO announced the funding commitments for the pilot program through 2020 by Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, the Global Fund to Fight AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria, and UNITAID. So these people, they are actually sponsoring this entire thing. In 2019, the trio of global health funding bodies committed additional funding to complete the pilot program through 2023. So basically, as we are discussing today in the year 2023, so this is the year when the project is going to end. So it started, I think, a couple of years back in, I think, 2020. After 2019 it started, and this is the year when it is supposed to end up. So definitely this, like I said earlier, that our prime target is the children, because they are most vulnerable. So this Mosquirix is for the children only. And this pilot is going to generate the data on the feasibility of delivering the vaccine in childhood vaccination clinics, the vaccine's potential role in reducing the death rate in the among the children, and of course its safety. Like whether we can use it for long term or not, does it have any other side effects or not, so those things. Okay, so primarily for learning these things only, the pilot project is being done. So as you understand that WHO is expecting, and of course it is quite understandable also, that in any childhood vaccination clinic this can be provided. Even I'll also tell how this can be done, so that anybody, any of our citizen who belongs to such area and has access to this Mosquirix can actually help others. So because this is the only vaccine, this is the only vaccine, we don't have any other medication. No, like I'm so sorry, we have lots of medications actually, but we don't have any other vaccine other than this. This is the first vaccine created. So in 2019, like I explained earlier, 3 sub-Saharan African countries, Ghana, Kenya and Malawi, they led the introduction of the vaccine in selected areas of moderate to high malaria transmission as part of a large-scale pilot program of WHO. And their target was 360,000 children per year. So that it's a really big project. Hats off to WHO for this. And now in these three countries, these vaccines have been considered under their regular routine immunization program. So there are two such bottles will be present. You have to mix them up, okay? And mind it, the storage temperature is very, very critical, otherwise it will be non-functional. So when we say RTSS AS01, so AS01 is basically the adjuvant and RTSS is basically the actual vaccine. Now why such a weird name RTSS? RTS is a molecule on that organism, Plasmodium. It's just a tiny molecule on that organism. Now the other S goes for hepatitis. Those people who know hepatitis will know that hepatitis B is a very, very bad disease, and many a times it is fatal. People die out of hepatitis B. So here this vaccine also can take care of that hepatitis B as well. So that second S goes for the hepatitis, though it is beyond the discussion of today's symposium. But since we are talking about mosquitoes, so I want to tell you that it has got an added advantage. Using it has an added advantage on the children as well. Okay. So here are certain areas where the pilot evaluation is going on. So in Ghana there is a Kintampo Health Research Center, and I think you can read what are the locations. The CDC Foundation in Kenya, the University of Malawi College of Medicine. So in these places the pilot program is going on. So how do we do it? Like suppose any of our citizens, you have access to mosquitoes. You stay in a location where surrounding people are actually suffering, or primarily the children, they are suffering from Plasmodium falciparum infection. Plasmodium has got 4 varieties. Okay, so Plasmodium organism, it has got 4 subtypes. So there can be Plasmodium vivax, there can be Plasmodium malariae, there can be Plasmodium falciparum, there can be Plasmodium ovale. Now mind it, this vaccine is only for those malaria caused by only Plasmodium falciparum. Now you must be thinking that okay, then what about the rest 3? So here good news is rest 3 are not deadly. Plasmodium falciparum is the deadliest one. It causes cerebral malaria, hits the brain, and that's really damaging. That's very bad. Children develop seizures. I hope everybody understands or has sometime or the other heard about seizures. So children, they develop seizures. So they don't have they don't have epilepsy or any other neurological disease. It's just malaria. Sorry. So you see, Plasmodium falciparum was something which has to be stopped. Rest of the diseases we can take care of them later on. So this vaccine is against Plasmodium falciparum. So here what we do is RTSS powder and the adjuvant suspension. If you mix them up, you will get total 1 ml, because each vial, like each container, it contains 0.5 ml. So 0.5 ml and plus 0.5 ml, so you get 1 ml. But for one patient, the dose is 0.5 ml. So that means if you take if you look over here, if you take that red colored bottle and if you take the green colored bottle, if you mix them up, you get total 1 ml. Now that mixture, like out of that mixture, you need 0.5 ml for each patient. That means one time you make a mixture, you can give it to 2 people, you can give it to 2 patients. So one set, if you are provided with one set of mosquitoes, with this one set of mosquitoes you can actually cure 2 people. So that's beautiful it is. So once you mix it up, remember, don't wait for more than 6 hours. It does not have any preservative. So if you keep it for more than 6 hours, there will be bacterial growth taking place over there, and it is going to go bad. Infection will start taking place if you inject that in somebody. So if once you have created the mixture, don't use it after 6 hours. Discard it if you haven't used it, or try to use it within 6 hours. and the storage temperature, it was already written in that this container, that 2 degree to 8 degrees. So that's the thing I have written over here. So how do we give this vaccine? So the first dose is given at 5 months of age. Now after this every month you have to give one dose. That means if you are giving the first dose at 5 months, then you are giving the second dose by 6th month, and you are giving the third dose by 7th month. So in this way you have to give 3 doses. Okay, like it's not mandatory. Suppose somebody gets delayed, somebody says that okay, now it is 6 months of age, so what to do? So no problem, the first dose will be on 6th month, second dose will be on 7th month, and the third dose will be on 8th month. So 3 doses should be given consecutively after every month, starting from 5th month, not before 5th month. So basically our idea is that within 9 months all the 3 doses has to be complete. So beyond 9 months if you go, the efficiency will start getting reduced. So all the 3 doses must be getting completed within 9 months. So I hope you understand that max to max, if you give dose 1 on 6th month, then second dose will go on 7th month, and then the third dose will go on 8th month. So I don't think anybody should be delaying more than that. But remember, this vaccine has got 4 doses. So when will the 4th dose come up? It should be given after 18th month from the last dose, mane the third dose. So the third dose, when we provided, like say the 9th month we provided the third dose, or 8th month we provided the third dose, it means that you have to start counting from that very month, and you have to count 18 month. 18 month means approx 1.5 year, and after that you can give the 4th dose. So this is how the dosage has to be given. So dose 1 5th month, after that another 2 doses consecutively, and within 9th month all the 3 doses must be completed, and the 4th dose must be given after 18th month after the third dose. So having said this, you see in this picture, this is a picture of a healthcare worker who is fumigating. This is a very very effective thing, but I don't think that unless and until some officials, some government helps, this is feasible at a personal level. But this is a very very effective measure. On large scale we do fumigate areas, we do fumigate colonies, we do fumigate buildings, houses, so that people can stay safe and people can stay away from this malaria. So I think I have given some glimpse of malaria, and I think with this knowledge, if you have anybody suffering from malaria surrounding, you can at least help them, or even if that is not possible, you can at least recommend them or refer them to our hospital, where at least we can take care of it. We have got our eminent doctors who can take care of it. Okay, and with this note I would like to finish up my presentation, and thanks for having the patience to listen to me, and I'll give the microphone over to Dr. Mayuk. And please, Dr. Mayuk, over to you.
What a wonderful presentation, Dr. Utsav. As I have already mentioned in my previous address, you are hero to our country, to the state of Birland, and I'm truly very proud that you have wonderfully presented every aspect of malaria, what are the important knowledge as a citizen, as a layman, we all should understood, we should learn the protocols, and rather how to fight and prevent it. Excellent, Dr. Utsav Bhattacharya, a wonderful presentation, and your contribution to Birland Health Service. We will always remember your hard work and efforts for us. Thank you so much, eminent doctor, honorable doctor, and I would like to pass, and I would like to request President King Emid and Honorable Madam Prime Minister Queen Eden to please honor us with your blessings. Over to you, President, Madam Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Dr. Okshab, for this very, very useful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
I am personally get a very, very good, useful information about the malaria, because I also have some relatives in the Yemen, which there are many children and people died from the malaria. And I learned when I was in Yemen, I was about 50 years there. I was a teacher of English language there. So I saw there are two kinds of the mosquitoes. The first kind is a deadly mosquito that cause a death after 3 days of the malaria. And the second kind of the mosquito, it is a curable, can't get a cure. So I witnessed also the died one children of my relatives also by this deadly mosquito. So I am also very interested about that to learn about the malaria. So maybe we will be useful for those areas in Africa, in Birland, in Yemen, in the other part of the world. So thank you very much for this useful presentation.
We are honored. We are truly honored, King, our Royal Majesty. We are truly honored. I would like to request our Madam Prime Minister, our true-born leader and my life's mentor, our Honorable Majesty Queen Eden, to bless us with your words.
Thank you, His Excellency Dr. Mayuk Pandit. To begin with, I would like to really thank you for all this initiative that you are doing as the Minister of Health of the state of Birland. Thank you so much. Despite that you are also being a doctor, you are not at all excused to getting sick. The doctor has been sick. I know because every day he talks to me, he tells me all what he's doing. And by the way, I would like to express the public condolences to your whole family for losing several family members consecutively. We feel very sorry for that, for losing already 3 members of your family and friends. Even the doctors are not free and that excuse getting diseases, sickness, and also getting, passing away, because we are human. So I thank you for thinking, even you're having all these problems and difficulties, you're still thinking of your responsibility as the Minister of Health. And through the help of your very able advisor, Dr. Okshab, who is very active in our Birland, Royal Birland Hospital in 1997, to assist, personally advise the medical concerns and health issues of the members in our WhatsApp group. I thank you so much, Doctor, for assisting and helping our Minister of Health, and as well attending to the needs and medical concerns of our supporters in the Birland Royal Birland Online Hospital, and for initiating and volunteering to have this conduct this medical symposium regarding the malaria. Thank you so much. I know that you are on duty 30 hours every a week. Per week. But still, the two of you are doing everything to help and support the Ministry of Health. And this malaria is also our concern in my own country, the Philippines. I think you know that. That's why I am also avoiding mosquitoes. Not only for myself, but for my children and students. Because mind you, we had lost several students, although not from malaria, but mostly in my case, no, mostly dengue. But still mosquitoes. There are many times in the Philippines that really many children die because of these mosquito bites. And I almost lost my eldest son when he was 8 years old due to the mosquito bites because of the dengue. Anyway, I thank you so much for this great service that you are doing to the people, not for Birland alone, but to all the people who are with us. That's why I Your Majesty,
so that I need the recorded of this presentation also to send to
Yes.
a Twitter account of the World Health Organization.
Yes, we will do that after they edit it, Your Majesty, for unnecessary, content of the videos. We can also post it in the YouTube. Thank you to the team. We thank you from our hearts, the team of the Ministry of Health. And also, I would like to thank the presence of our officials who are here, our friends, our supporters, our president, and the kings. I know that you're having challenges from load shedding, low internet, poor internet, and your busy schedules, but still you are here. I know it's not just to show up because we are friends, but you are here to learn how to fight and how to prevent. This is very important. Yes, thank you so much. I'm sorry that I did not open my camera because really it's very late in the Philippines. It's almost 1 a.m. and my eyes, I still have the problem with my eyes. So, yeah, I hope that I'm not disrespecting the people, even though I don't feel good, but I still try to show my support. I'm really very interested on this. So thank you very much, and God bless our medical doctors.
Thank you so much, our Honorable Majesty Queen Edith and our Honorable President King Emir. We are truly grateful for your constant encouragement, support, guidance, blessings always. We are truly, utterly grateful, Your Majesties. And here I would like to give an opportunity to all our supporters, kings and members. If you would like to ask anything, any queries regarding malaria, since it's a World Malaria Day and we are celebrating. We are not, remember, we are not fearing, we are celebrating here. Because if we fear something, we will be more immunologically weakened, and we have to be very strong mentally, physiologically, from every aspect. So we are celebrating here the World Malaria Day, and in this celebration, would you like to add any perspective? You want to ask anything, since we have an expert on board with us? I would like to invite you all to unmute yourself and you can ask, or you can simply ask your question in the chat box. We will be happy to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for all who attended here in this very useful presentation. And we wish for all a good health, and thank you very much to Dr. Mayuk, our the Minister of Health, of course, Dr. Mushab also. Thank you very much, each one who also write his question in this chat. And it is very useful presentation, so that I would like, as I said, to this presentation to post to the Twitter of the United Nations and the World Health Organization, and to the all the people who can presentation and get the more information about the malaria, and it is a really useful presentation. Thank you very much.
Excuse me, doctor. There was a question raised by Atubahe. He was asking where he can get this medicine. You mean to say this is the only vaccine for the to fight the malaria? So I don't know. I will have to ask our health centers here. I live beside our health center actually. I don't know if they are providing free vaccine for our malaria here in the Philippines. I don't remember. But I thought I think the dengue, yes. So you mean to say this vaccine in your this is the only, I don't know the difference, because the first time I traveled to Africa in 2018, this is actually for the whole world, I think, that this is a requirement. If you travel to Africa, you must have the yellow fever vaccine, right? And you must have the yellow fever card. Without that, you cannot enter any African country. Is that the same vaccine, doctor? The one that they are giving in the Bureau of Quarantine?
No, this is not the same, ma'am. That is pretty old, and yellow fever has been taken care of since quite long. But this vaccine has been generated quite recently in 2019.
Oh, for children.
For children, yes, ma'am, yes.
For children, not for adults.
No, it's not also for the adults. It's only for the children, and only
I
against
see.
a particular type of that organism, Plasmodium.
Okay. But we have already existing vaccine, right?
Yes, we have at least a vaccine against malaria. We
Yeah. Is
earlier
that
never had
the
one.
yellow fever vaccine?
No, yellow fever, ma'am, is again a different thing. Yellow,
Different.
like the cause, the way the disease occurs inside the body, so that is different from that of malaria. So whenever we target their lifestyle, we like the lifestyle is different, so our target becomes different. So malarial lifestyle is different, so our target is different. So the way we kill the yellow fever, the same way we cannot kill malaria. So they are two different things.
I see. Okay. Thank you, doctor.
Dr. Mayuk, you are muted, I guess. I think you're trying to speak.
Sorry. Yes, here I would like to add to Dr. Utshab, Your Majesties, that yellow fever is caused by another set of species of mosquito. In case of malaria, it's the Plasmodium, Your Majesty. That's why there are different sets of vaccine. And as I have also told Her Majesty Queen Eden during a conversation in Ghana, where I take lectures of anatomy in Nairobi University. As I have also said this in my oath ceremony season, in our first virtual medical symposium, in Ghana, out of 100 students, 20 students are always absent, because malaria is such a common factor, especially in West Africa. So in Africa, malaria is it has a very common prevalence among its citizens. And as Dr. Utshav have mentioned that we share borders with Egypt, South Egypt and North Sudan. So when we'll be the first established country, we will definitely have a protocol and department which will be taking care of the malaria. So thank you so much, Majesty and His Majesty for and your additions. Thank you. Is there any more questions from our viewers and supporters you would like to ask?
I can see somebody has asked that there is a belief that people with AA genotype always suffer malaria. Yes, that's a belief, but again, it's not always true because there was a study which was done between AA and AS genotype, and it was found out that not all people of AA genotype are getting sick, though the real connection hasn't been established yet. But it may be some coincidence or something like that, because every AA people are not getting sick. That is also a finding that has been found out.
Thank you, Dr. Utshav, for your inputs. And I think we have no more questions. Your Majesties, with your blessings and approval, should we conclude our today's second virtual medical symposium?
Thank you so much, our doctors. Thank you so much to our friends and participants. It's good. One of our participants said that his first wife died from malaria. Mr. Gray. So thank you, everyone, and let's wait for the next symposium, medical symposium from our Minister of Health. And we are looking forward, and we send our blessings to the what is this medical mission we're going to conduct on the 28th, right? April 29th.
Yes, Your Majesty. It's on Thursday and Friday, and today our headmaster, who is very close friend to Dr. Utshav Bhattacharya of our Jadavpur Vidyapit, it is a West Bengal's ranked #1 school, Your Majesty, and it's a government of West Bengal school, and Your Majesty, today we have arranged and organized everything for our Thursday's medical mission, and it was estimated at 1,200 students, but today we gathered that it will be more than 1,800 to 2,000, because students and their families also will come for the health camp, Your Majesty. So from our Birland, we are going to save more than 2,000 lives on 2 days with our blessings of our
Really
Majesty.
great. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Salwa, Princess Salwa Ben Musa. She's in Morocco. You're in Morocco, right? Salwa? Princess Salwa? Morocco. You speak Arabic. Okay, thank you. Good night.
Good night, Your Majesties. Good night, everyone, our honorable ministers, honorable majesties, and our supporters, members. Long live Birland. Long live our President, His Royal Majesty King Emir. Long live our honorable Madam Prime Minister, Her Royal Majesty Queen Eden. And long live all our supporters.
Thank
Thank
you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Good
Bye.
night. Good night.
Good
See
night.
you.
Good night, Magelkin.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, Carlo.
Thank you.